All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, one of the things a lot of us, including myself, are very, very excited about is Daredevil Born Again. Just in concept, the Daredevil is back, but I have loved the teaser footage we've seen, especially that scene just in the diner with Kingpin and Matt just sitting there. It's like the violence, loving and hating the control it has over us. Or a line I'm paraphrasing there.
It's Heat.
It is. It's a scene straight out of Heat. I'm so excited for this. We've also heard it's going to be very dark and all this kind of stuff. But now I'm a little bit worried. Here's why I'm worried. There's an interview that's just been done with the showrunner of Daredevil Born Again, and everybody's focusing on something exciting, he said, which is this is going to be darker than the original series. Ooh, everybody's excited about that. Okay. But within this interview, there's a little something that not only leaves me kind of concerned, it makes me wonder if this guy even understands what made Daredevil great in the first place. This comes to us from Games Radar, who wrote, Daredevil Born Again will fix the showrunner's big issue with the Netflix series. At its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. They write the article as this. There is more fun. Well, let me read the first part. Daredevil Born Again showrunner Dario Scardapani says the upcoming Marvel series will have some big differences from the original Netflix show, which is fine. There is more fun in the moments with these characters and a lot less nasal gazing than before. That's funny.
Navel gazing.
What did I say? Navel?
Nasal.
Did I say nasal?
Just looking at that
navel.
nose.
Sorry about that.
Which
makes me think, when I look back at Daredevil on Netflix, I don't recall a lot of navel gazing. But anyway, than before. He says in the new issue of SFX magazine, which features Daredevil Born Again on the cover and hits newsstands on January 29th. Now, this is where he starts talking about it. The earlier show, the Netflix version, at its best was fantastic. At its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. I felt that had been done before. I'm not taking swipes. Yes, you are. I just didn't want to hear characters grousing about their lot in life. I wanted to see them doing things. All right. Now, you may accuse me, and you might be right. It might turn out that you're right if you accuse me of maybe nitpicking on words and being worried about semantics at all. But when I think back to the entire 3-season run of Daredevil on Netflix, you know what scene is always the first one that pops into my head? Punisher and Daredevil on that rooftop.
Yep.
That is Frank and Matt on the roof. That entire episode, that entire sequence of scenes, to me, with given the hallway fight and the brutality and the great action, that to me represented why that show was great. The conversations, even the philosophical ones that would take place between Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, those are the scenes that I walked away going, oh my God, is the action great? Yes, absolutely. Is the show as good without that action? No, it's not as good without the action. But it says something that when I think about the show, these are the first things that come to my head. And Rob, you know what I hear? He didn't say this. I'm putting words in his mouth. I admit it. But you know what I hear when I read these words? I hear a showrunner saying, I need to dumb this down. People want smack, pow, boom. They don't want philosophical discussions. Any kindergartner can say, have them fight. And it's hard to make the fight look good, granted, but any kindergartner can come out and say that. It's when you take that action and you soak it in drama and you soak it in meaning. That's why when you get to the climax and stuff like that, when Matt and Kingpin are actually fighting, it's not just a fight between two characters in a video game. It's like you've got all this dialogue and drama and tension and everything that's been built and chemistry built up between them. And I read this guy saying, it's just a bunch of navel gazing. I don't want to see these two guys talking about stuff. I want to see them doing stuff. Now, look, I am not saying I'm no longer excited about this show. I desperately am. I really, really am. But I'd be lying to you, Rob, if I didn't tell you I read this. And it's made me a little bit worried. I don't know. What did you take away from this?
Well, listening to that quote, ironically, look what they built the trailer around.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they built the trailer around a scene.
The Heat scene.
I
Two
mean,
people
and
talking about what a hero is.
I think that there's a pervasive attitude, especially with modern showrunners,
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. January always feels like recovery mode, doesn't it? I mean, after all the holiday fun and, let's be honest, all the holiday spending, it can feel like a credit hangover. But don't worry, I've got the perfect solution to help you bounce back in 2025. Kikoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Kikoff is a total game changer if you're looking to start building or improving your credit. Their plans? They start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Everybody's been there, guys. Trying to navigate credit can feel like a maze, but Kikoff makes it easy. You can sign up in minutes on your phone and be instantly set up with a credit line designed specifically for building credit, not for spending. And here's a fun fact. If your credit's under 600, you could jump around 28 points in your first month. It's that simple. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to brighter credit with Kikoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea today. That's getkikoff, KIKOFF.com/Campea. Must sign up via kikoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Points based on Equifax VantageScore 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
When it comes to genre IP, they don't understand that we put as much, when we're listening to our superheroes and supervillains talk to one another, we put as much stock into their philosophical debates as anything else. Think about The Dark Knight. You know,
Yes.
you live long enough to become the villain. You know, that is a philosophical concept that is at the core of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. You know, and that question, Harvey Dent becomes that question. Batman wondering is he going to become that question? And then the Joker always was a villain. So it's like there is a philosophy, and pick whatever, whether it's Kraven the Hunter. Why is Kraven the Hunter hunting Spider-Man in Kraven's Last Hunt? All of it's philosophical. I mean, they're always in these debates. Now, I understand on TV, people want to see that action. But we as fans want both.
Yeah.
We want, because that's what gives those characters, that imbues them with meaning for us. If they're just going to beat each other up, well, that's a cartoon.
Chris, again, look, I'm admitting I might be reading too much into this
Sure.
and overreacting to it, but it sounds like he said it and then he doubled down on it, and it's left me thinking, do you even get what made Daredevil great in the first place? I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you take away from this?
I feel like it's mostly an unfortunate sound clip, honestly, of just I want to not trash this show, but I also want to hype up mine because everyone's already making comparisons and it's already it can't be as good as that one, so let me do this. That all being said, from the comics, I know the comics are different than the movies and the shows, but from the comics, Daredevil has always been a wildly philosophical character, balancing his Catholic guilt with his shame for, one, doing what he does, and to a point enjoying it. We all forget some of the most important iconic lines about this character. The man without fear, Kingpin says, "A man without hope is a man without fear." We have to discuss more of these things. In the Chip Zdarsky run, he talks about how Iron Man and Matt are having a conversation, and there's this great line of, "You called me street level. I call it people level." It is a character study character. Like, it has to have conversations about what a hero is. That's his whole thrust.
And if you go back, I mean, I know it's not an exact adaptation of the Born Again storyline, but the whole thing about being born again is that he's torn down. You know, that first episode when his brownstone collapses and in the wreckage, Matt Murdock finds his Daredevil outfit, and that's when he knows, he says, you shouldn't have signed it, because he knows that was Kingpin's coup de grace. So the whole thing is a philosophically based story.
Yeah.
And when you think about who the villain in this is, Muse, like Muse does in the comics, Muse does some really messed up stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also this rich conversation and dialogue and the whole philosophy behind why he does what he does. And like, I really hope this guy doesn't shortchange us on that just for the sake of throwing in an extra fight scene or two. Because one of the great things about that Netflix series was the balance. It always had these great character moments and then some wild action. Great character moments. Like that scene when Karen is sitting across from, I'm forgetting Kingpin's right-hand guy. Remember that scene? She's sitting across from him and she ends up shooting him to death. Like that whole conversation. Like, I don't rob us of that stuff either. Hopefully they can bring the balance.
I think
Wesley, yes.
I think just real quick, I think what this is calculated, and I think he's trying to hype the audience.
Yeah.
And honestly,
so.
kind of misstepped on his hype. He's like, oh crap! Now I just made people worry.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
That's what I hope it is too. It seems that way.
But when he comes out and directly calls
I get it.
that show is navel gazing.
Yeah, I don't even really know what that is, but all right.
I'm not taking swipes. I just want to see my characters do things. It's like, Anyway, listen, I'm still excited for the show. I am, but I am a little bit nervous now. Question is for you guys. What did you make of the comments? Maybe it'll be much ado about nothing, and he really does strike the perfect balance, or maybe he's going to dumb it down a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.